evening and welcome everyone to the expansion of Citizen Action of New York. My name is Rosemary Rivera. I'm the co-executive director of Citizen Action of New York. And where is my other co-director? Oh, there she is! Without my partner.
Excuse me.
So, I took a little time to write something up, so I'd like to take a moment and read it to all of you. You know, we live in the richest country in the history of the world. And yet, due to the twin blades of racism and greed, we continue to have to fight because the struggle is real. Citizen Action is a place of refuge. It is a training camp where we become disciplined in combating the dominant worldview that tells us to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps when so many of us have no boots. It is a place where we understand that building power is a good thing, as we yield it as a sword to eradicate racism. We yield it as a torch for justice for education, as we believe that every child deserves an excellent education no matter their zip code. We yield it as a torch for justice in healthcare, as we believe that every human deserves medical care despite their ability to pay. We yield it as a torch for criminal justice, as JC says that we ain't doing crime for the sake of doing crime. People are moving dimes because we ain't doing fine. We yield it as a torch for our democracy, as we believe in government for the people and by the people. We yield it as a torch to shine a light on the fact that the nation's economy is a situation comedy. Corporations are making money while the people are facing poverty. That is why we believe in Citizen Action. That is why we believe. That is why we collectively invest in the expansion of our office to create the people's space where we can find resources and refuge and solace, where we can live by our values, where we can find the courage and the training, because as we all know, the personal is political. And it is because we believe that we have courage. Courage, like the lion in the Oz. It is because we believe that we came out and stood early on with Congressman Delgado. It is because we believe and because we have courage that we will walk with him. It is because we believe that this rapping Democrat, that this rapping Democrat who believed in the words of his own music, which are out there in the hall, who stood there and said that all the pain and the poverty and the hypocrisy fueled his truth and there was no stopping him, just like there's no stopping us when we stand together. Please help me in welcoming Antonio Delgado, our congressman, who has, I gotta say this, we put our collective belief in, and who thus far is proving us to be right. Because he is listening to the people. He's having town halls when his predecessor ain't had none. He has just sponsored HR 1. Which is going to help us move toward the value of democracy that we all hold. This is a bill for public financing and small donor matching funds throughout this country. And that brings more power to the people. So Antonio, we believe in you and hope that our torch will keep you believing in us. Woo!
Thank you for those very kind words. And Citizen Action, thank you. You know, it's been quite the journey for me and for us. As noted, the support that came in very early on in my candidacy made a lot of difference in the ultimate outcome. I like to think that the reason why that happened is because you have in me and I have in you a real partner for the fight for a truly progressive agenda. Now, what does it mean to be progressive? I think it's important sometimes to revisit the term, because oftentimes it gets bandied around and there's labels put upon it that can be confusing. But at its core, progressivism is essentially about America's commitment to continually perfect our union and to always prioritize that struggle ahead of any concentration of wealth or free market enterprise principles that ultimately may undermine this goal, this objective. It is, in short, to fight for the equality of all, opportunity for everyone, irrespective of race, irrespective of class, irrespective of gender, sexual orientation, religion. And to put that fight paramount above everything else. That is what it means to be a progressive. I was talking to a young man today at Round Valley High School. And he asked a very interesting question. And it got me thinking. He said, "You're a Democrat." I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Well, how do you make it so that you are okay with this idea, as it appears to be, that the Democratic platform is socialist, or a model of the sort of Nordic sort of realities across the world? You see the country, the party kind of shifting in that direction. How do you jive with that? You're a Democrat, right? That's the agenda. That's your agenda." I said, "Well, let me step back for a second and let you know why I consider myself a Democrat and how to fit it into that paradigm we just discussed." I said, "I believe in capitalism. No problem with capitalism. I believe in the free market. I believe in entrepreneurship. I believe in the idea that we want to spur economic growth by giving folks that individual freedom to pursue economic growth. But not at the expense of democracy. Democracy has to thrive. It has to be primary. It has to take primacy if we are going to be a truly just and fair society. Because democracy is about everybody counting, no matter how much money you have in your pockets. Democracy is about everybody having a voice, no matter the check you can write to your politician. Democracy is about making sure everybody is treated fairly, no matter who they happen to know or not know. Otherwise, capitalism will swallow it whole. Because capitalism doesn't come with a conscience. Okay? It comes with a motive. The motive is profit, which can do a lot of good things if there are guardrails. And the guardrails are democracy. And we are now living in the age where capitalism is swallowing democracy whole. And we are no longer reflecting to ourselves a democracy. We are reflecting to ourselves what only can be described as an oligarchy. And until we double down on our democratic principles and pass legislation like H.R. 1, and until groups like Citizen Action continue to do the work time and time and time and time again, activism. I mean, Citizen Action couldn't be a better name. It's citizens acting, citizens engaging, citizens participating, citizens reclaiming what it means for us to be a democracy. That is the fight that we have. Now, I said all of that to the young fella. Not all. And I said, but listen, you have to understand why some people, in the midst of all this imbalance, are trying to figure out the right way to course correct. right? When you have this level of imbalance, and when you feel like your back's against the wall, and you know what the right outcome ought to be, now there's a judgment call of how fast you want to turn that car around, how much you want to push in the other direction. And that's where we are right now as a country, and that's where the Democratic Party is right now as a country. We're struggling with that fight. But the core message, and no Democrat should forget this, no matter where you fall along the line of that spectrum, my Democratic friends, is that we are about the business of equality. We are about the business of democracy. That is what it means to be a Democrat. And so I thank each and every one of you for your level of engagement, for your commitment to democracy, for your commitment to our shared principles, for your commitment to this understanding that at the end of the day we are all one. And I applaud wholeheartedly, genuinely, and gratefully the work of Citizen Action. And it's a wonderful idea and notion to know that we're standing here in an expansion of that work, an extension of that work. That means there's growth. And that growth is powerful. And so I just encourage each and every one of you to keep building upon that work and know that in me, you have a partner every step of the way. Thank you.
Every day. I think you can see them in the morning, in the evening, in the nighttime. I'm going to see a lot of heads nodding. We have a navigator program in the front that also does direct service. And today I watched our navigator, Myrna, standing over here, dealing with the people. We are right now, they have called an emergency crisis in this country, and the very people that they're talking about are the people that are coming into this office to get support and help. And I saw Myrna not only provide the services that we provide, but to go an extra mile. She was actually tape measuring a young boy who was like, he said he was 11, right? He was little for 11. To see, you know, if she could get him some pants, because they're coming in from another country and it's cold up here. And there's a part of me that says, you know, I do fight capitalism when it is about cutting each other's throat with a dollar bill. And I keep saying that we are the richest country in the history of the world. Why is there not enough? Why is there not enough? You know, equality is great, but I really believe in equity too. And it is absolutely necessary for us to take that extra step, that extra mile. What Myrna does warmed my heart. And yet, looking around, I know that people who stand up, go to a rally, do the hard work of door knocking in the rain. Thank you very much, Andy Falk, making me go out with a shower cap for October. That was not pretty. I just gotta say that this is what inspires me and gives me hope, even when it's hard, and even when people, there's roles for everyone in this organization. I want to embrace everyone in this organization. I want to create an organization. I want all of us to create an organization that mimics the world we want to see. And that's where we should start. A world with equity, where there is no racism, where the dollar bill is not the end-all be-all, but love and respect and honor is. And so, Andy, you know, Myrna, all the people that have written, all the people that have been here and have supported that, thank you, Jess. And I am going to let Andy come up and tell you a little bit more about what we do. Just had us today.
So, wow, it is hard to follow Antonio Delgado, Rosemary Rivera, but I feel up to it because I am inspired by the solidarity that I see in this room. So solidarity, my brothers and sisters. I am looking throughout this room and I see see many faces that worked on the campaign of Antonio Delgado. We knocked on over 10,500 doors.
Wow.
We slept in this office. We had people bringing food. I see some people who were constantly bringing food to the office, who are volunteers, can do the work that we do. And what an honor it was to work on a campaign for Antonio Delgado. I saw this man move with grace when he was attacked with vicious racist attacks, and it inspired me because I'm looking at CD19 over here, a congressional district about the size of Connecticut that's gerrymandered not to have Democratic pockets, that we have mountains going between the districts so you can't get from the east to the west of the district. And Antonio Delgado, in the face of racist attacks, he stayed on message and he said, we can do better than that. And just personally, when I saw the type of attack that you had to undergo, Antonio, I said to myself, this is not the type of attack that can survive. My kids cannot, here in New York, be subject to the victimization of a successful attack, and it inspired me. And we believed in you, and that's why we endorsed you, but we are also going to hold you accountable, because that is what every citizen needs to do to their representatives. And listen, we do great work here in Citizen Action. We got some great committees. I'm going to ask you all to join. We got our Fair Elections for New York campaign. It's a committee that will help us, and it's a campaign that for public financing of campaigns, so that a person can give a $10 contribution and $70 goes to the candidate. So it will create opportunities for people without money, without access to the money. We will have new candidates, and the people will have a voice with the Fair Elections campaign. We have a committee for that. We have a committee to combat the housing crisis, not right here in Kingston, but across New York State. And we're fighting for housing justice. And if you're interested in housing issues and housing justice, please join our housing committee. We have our Education and Criminal Justice Committee, and we talk about ending the school-to-prison pipeline and how are we going to take action to do it. And tomorrow, everybody who's here is going to get an email. Well, tomorrow's Saturday. Monday, everybody is going to, because we're actually working all weekend on other stuff. But everybody's going to get an email with an invitation to join one of our committees. Please reply. If you can't join a committee, we're asking people to make a contribution to Citizen Action. You'll get those links. We have a community space. If you have a committee that you want to help create, if you have a forum that you want to put on, this is your chapter. We fought for this space. We built this space, not for us, but for you, for the people of the Hudson Valley, so that we can take action, so that we can get more people like Antonio Delgado elected. Antonio, can you do it alone?
Oh, no.
No. We're gonna give you a gang to work with. And so, and I say that with love, because I'm one of them. But so, you know what? My brothers and sisters, it's a big world. It's a big, wide world, and it's not going to change if we wait for it to change. We need to be the change we need to see in the world. Thank you very much for coming to Citizen Action.